Good afternoon. I'm here in the heartland, the very middle of Kansas, home to the fourth largest population of Mennonites in the United States of America, to find out exactly what Kansans know about this denomination. Ranking just below Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana, Kansas boasts 117 congregations, resulting in a membership of 21,570 congregants. But what does the average Kansan know about this denomination and the roots from which they sprang? Let's find out. I'm here with a very kind gentleman named Mike who has agreed to answer a few questions concerning religion. Well, more specifically Mennonites. Sir, can you tell me, what do you know about the Mennonites?
Well, there's a lot of them around here, and the women wear dresses and have a little cap on their head, and, well, they make good pie.
Maybe I should narrow my question a little bit for you. Maybe you could tell me what you know about the different sects of the Mennonites?
Well, look, I don't want to go there. I think that's
No. You misunderstood me. I said sects, S-E-C-T-S, as in divisions or subgroups. You see, like a lot of Protestant denominations, the Mennonites have had their fair share of debates about theological issues and just plain old disagreements about the way things have been done. This has resulted in almost 40 different divisions of Mennonites today, such as Old Order Mennonites, Conservative Mennonites, Mennonite Church USA, Holderman Mennonites. Ultimately, the Mennonites all fall under the same umbrella as other groups such as the Amish or the Hutterites. They're all known as Anabaptists.
Anti-Baptists? No, I thought they were. I didn't think they were kind of that mean to be anti-Baptist.
Okay.
Now, I'm not Methodist.
Excuse me, sir. It's not anti. It's never mind. I said Anabaptists. Maybe I should go back to the beginning. See, the original Anabaptists were very sincere Christians living in Switzerland, whose insistence on freedom of conscience in the year 1521 caused them to meet secretly in a home of Felix Manz to be baptized. At that point in time, it was considered civil disobedience to be baptized. These folk had come to the conclusion that infant baptism wasn't right, since in order for it to be valid, baptism has to be on a confession of faith. And though one was baptized as an infant, because an infant cannot confess to faith, the believer had to be baptized according to Scripture before they could be accepted into fellowship. So that required that a person be baptized again or rebaptized. That's where the term Anabaptist comes from.
Well, it's good to know that they're not so, against Baptists. It's good. Well, so how did they come up with this name, Mennonite?
Well, that's a great question. See, there was a Catholic priest whose name was Menno Simons. He came from the Netherlands in 1536 and decided to join the Anabaptists. He quickly became a leader because of his writings and his teachings that really articulated their beliefs for them. And then somewhere along the line, they were nicknamed Mennonites, and after that, the name just stuck.
Well, it's kind of weird they went with the first name, Menno Simons. I think I would have gone with the first name, Simonites, or something like that.
Well, thank you for being willing to come inside. That mower was more than I could deal with. And this is important. I wanted you to hear an answer to your question about their beliefs, what they believe, what Menno Simons articulated for them. So do you recall the term freedom of conscience that I used earlier? Mm-hmm. Well, this phrase defined the Anabaptists that held that religion is an individual heart experience, making each person answerable to God alone, and that the Bible is the only and supreme rule of life. And then this idea translated into the stances they took with strict standards for living a holy life, nonconformity to the world, non-resistance, and a complete separation of church and state. Obviously, this meant that to take up arms in support of a country meant the violation of two of their basic tenets, the non-resistance and the church-state separation. So because of these beliefs, Mennonites and other Anabaptist groups found themselves constantly at odds with the government, and they were persecuted at every turn. They first came to the United States with the Quakers, who were known for their religious toleration, and they settled in Pennsylvania and finally found a place they could live without persecution. Other groups, like the ancestors of the folks we see around here, came later. The Mennonites who settled in Kansas first came in 1857, seeking asylum from religious persecution in Russia. The plains of Kansas reminded them of the steppes of Russia, where they raised a hardy variety of wheat, and concluding that the same crop which supplied their livelihood previously would most likely thrive here as well, they brought what would come to be known as Russian red wheat.
Okay.
And then they settled in this area. And maybe raising all that weight gave them the opportunity to get really good at making baked goods like pie.
For sure. These people must have been really serious about their faith, but I still get them confused with the Amish.
A lot of people do. While we don't have time to go into it all, the basic issue that divided the Mennonites and the Amish was over the separation from the world. The Amish keep separate from the society around them. They generally shun modern technology, they keep out of secular and political involvement, and they dress very plainly. Now, the Old Order Mennonites actually dress somewhat similar to the Amish, and some of them even drive buggies like the Amish do. But the majority of Mennonites in the United States can't even be identified by their dress anymore. And in this particular area of Kansas, there is a large population of Holdeman Mennonites, which are distinguished for the men by their really strictly trimmed beards, and for the women by the modest dresses and that small black cap that they wear over their uncut hair. It's understandably confusing with so many branches espousing so many different practices. You'll even find different opinions depending on who you talk to about whether Mennonites are even Protestants. Some Mennonites maintain that they're neither Catholic nor Protestant, but a third group of Christian believers.
Well, I do know something else about the Mennonites. They're really active when it comes to helping out. My wife and I go to that MCC relief sale that they have every year. My wife checks out the quilts and I go there for pie.
You're absolutely right. The Mennonite Central Committee today stems from the commitment of holy living in the word and deed. It's evidenced by their acts of service, especially to those in need. You'll find Mennonites are some of the very first responders in disaster relief, as well as being known for being helpful dependability in the communities where they live, negotiators for peace around the world, and among the first groups to advocate fair trade.
Well, that's pretty cool. You know, I really learned a lot about Mennonites. I guess I didn't know as much as I thought I did, but at least I was right about one thing. They make great pie.